I, Michael, take you, Anastasia, to be my wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, until death do us part.
19 again. That's the age of the time when we first met. I remember the night you first walked in, and I remember the thought I had the second you did. There is so much I'd like to say to that young man, some lessons to give and some guidance to his plan, and a whole lot of caution for the things that I regret. It didn't take long for the sparks to fly. After just the first night I knew I needed you in my life. We stayed up all night, went to Waffle House, tried our best not to say goodbye. We didn't know at the time, but it was the beginning of our whole life. 2 weeks in, I told you I loved you, then I cried. In July of 2016, you became my wife. We were young and had a lot to figure out. Our young minds were captured by the love that erased all the doubt. As long as we had each other, we had life figured out, and there was nothing that would stop us from reaching for the clouds. Goals and dreams filled our minds, passion and love beamed from our eyes, and each day we cherished the time that we shared with each other by our side. Shortly after we were married, we received a gift, a beautiful baby boy that would create a shift in our life that we didn't understand at the time, but he would be the one that would keep us alive through all of the pain and all of the trauma that we were going to endure. He would be the one that kept us grounded and remind us of what we were fighting for. What we didn't know was that life was about to get hard. Our dreams were going to blur, and our love for one another would only go so far. There would come a time when we would face collisions, division in our position, making home feel like a prison, no longer what we envisioned. Our love was trialed with conditions, and actions were buried with our convictions. It began with anger and rage, tearing us apart with the words that I'd say. Pride wasn't going away, things had to change, and I'd make it rain with complaints every day. Everything changed one night when you drove away. We were arguing again and you weren't okay, so you took my truck and left that day. Drove through the park with nothing to say. It got dark and I began to fear the words you would say. You sent a text saying I love you, but this time was different. I had to get to you. In a panic I searched for you. Walmart parking lot I spotted you. Nothing could prepare me for what I drove up to. Doors locked, your eyes closed, your lips were blue. In that moment, I was missing you. Paramedics arrived by ambulance. We put you inside, then I followed behind. I was partially blinded by the tears in my eyes, thinking of the last words I had said to my wife. Get to the hospital and they pushed me aside, saying I could be the reason for your suicide. So until you wake, I have to say goodbye, and maybe I'll see you again if you open your eyes. You came home a week later, and I swore things would be better. I tried to educate myself and tried to offer you help, worked hard to get us out of this hell, but I continued to yell. You were still hurting. My growth wasn't working because I was still lacking in healing the broken pieces you were holding. I wasn't listening to what you told me. I was leaving you yearning for something I was ignoring. Once again, I found you alone in the Goodwill parking lot, overdosed. Your face pale as a ghost, amount of pills still unknown. I'm standing there feeling alone as the hospital tells me again I must go. I'm angry, and this time I'm wondering why this is happening. The efforts I put in are failing me, and you're in a home miles away from me. I can't understand the pain in me, and it's been overtaking the shame in me. Reflecting on the past is haunting me, and I feel abandoned by what this has done to me. You're home again, but it's not the same. I'm a different man, hopes and dreams are gone again. My mind is filled with doubt, I'm over this. I started clicking and scrolling, and the internet had me hoping I could get lost in each moment with each site I was going. Met people that were showing too much, and I know this, but I got trapped in the dosage of the serotonin that was flowing. Started innocent, then it worsened. I had friends I was conversing on my problems and my burdens till our interactions got concerning. Went further than I cared to admit. Online adultery I didn't want to commit, but I struggled to convince myself that I could escape this abyss. I came clean to my wife and broke her heart, and our life already cut by a knife. I cut deeper with my lies, and our marriage almost died, but she looked me in my eyes and said she promised that we will fight for the rest of our life until we finally get it right. Months passed, it was unaddressed, and our marriage was still a wreck till we weakened, till we seeked counsel in our mess and found rest in our brokenness. Hopeful for our future, unknown of its stature, caution with each matter, and communication for each dagger that gave us all these fractures. We saw light in the darkness, and we talked through the damage. For the first time in years we could manage. We had vision for our marriage, our family coming together, no longer changing with weather. With hearts delicate as feathers, we fought daily to be better. We committed to each other, and we're consistent with our efforts, focused individually and together, still promising that we would continue to remember the word never. Never stop doing little things, never stop in humility, never stop with the fight in me, and never stop with the love we see. I love you till death do us part is truly words of art, but I have to change it for my heart says it's been wrong from the start. I'll love you till life brings us close. We lived through the death when our marriage felt afloat. It's easy to love when you're living happily, but hard to love when it's hard to breathe. That I loved you when you were far from me and will continue till our life is free. Free from the chains and the traumas, free from the pain and the drama. I'll love you till life is my promise, then we'll be happy with our knowledge that our past was acknowledged and our future can be flawless. We hoped through the worst and we escaped from the hearse. We were cursed from its birth, but we still found our worth in the labors and the work we put into this hurt. To give us a chance to find happiness again, to recreate our own plans, to feel comfortable in our own skin, and to love what we can while we fix what we did with the love that we give. Growth through forgiveness is the key to our winning as we continue to diminish the painful times that we finish. Now I'm committed to our ending when our life is just beginning. And I'll love you till life, not till death, because when we reach life we can rest, knowing we gave it our best, lifted weight off our chest, now enjoying the rest because we escaped from our death. Now we are living through our best years, knowing that my best friend is right here, and the future isn't quite clear. However, you've erased all of my fears, and the pain was a nightmare. Daily we were too scared, but loving you till life is my new promise, as I give you all of my solace, and life can no longer harm us. I love you till life, and baby, happiness is upon us. The worst is over, and now I place my hand on your shoulder till life brings us closer. Death did us part, but now that life is over, and as we get older, I'll continue to love you. I'll continue to love you till life brings us closer.